It is October 6th, 2018. We're here at 3784 Mississippi Street in San Diego, California, 92104. We're here on the north side of the property, just off from the water heater closet. You can see come down, and we have a clean-out access for the main sewer. And if we look backwards off around the corner there in the backyard is where they have a laundry. Now we've gone into the crawl space, and a lot of the venting, there is no venting or it's completely out of code. So there actually is no vent for the laundry, and so there's nothing. It's supposed to be on the rooftop, of course, and there's nothing there. And we've taken a photo with our camera from the crawl space and verified that. We then have this original cast iron clean out here, which is immediately going to turn into ABS pipe. You can see right there, and this is going to pick up this bathroom. Now this bathroom was upgraded. Same thing though, the venting for the toilet was done completely improper. We can tell from the crawl space on the rooftop. I'll pull back out for a second, but when we go up on the rooftop, the 2-inch vent that would be there for the toilet's been capped, and that pipe has been cut. There's 2.5-inch vents, and they tried to illegally tie into one of the 1.5-inch vents, but 2 inches required for a toilet. And the way it's also connected in the crawl space for this toilet, for this bathroom off the back of the side of the house, they put what's called a low heel outlet laying on its backside. So the vent pipe is in line with the drain line. It's all horizontal, and then it goes up. So none of that is to code as well. It will make it functional, it's just not to code. We'd see an air admittance valve, the little pipe sticking out right near the top. If you're looking down across where the water heater closet is, right before that, that big 1.5-inch pipe sticking out is called an air admittance valve or a Studer vent. Those are illegal and not permitted in the city of San Diego. That is what, again, the vent pipe is for. It's supposed to be all the way above the roof line to let sewer gases and odors out and let air in. That little valve on the side that they did only lets air in, doesn't let gases out. And again, that is not permitted. So we're going to go into the pipe now. We have another bathroom farther up the front of the house, and this is all new plastic pipe though for quite a long distance. They've replaced everything when they redid this bathroom, and then all the way to the front bathroom they replaced that. Now the front bathroom, which we have no access to the house still from the agent, but from the crawl space we can see that there is no vent on the rooftop for the bathtub that was done and moved. They connected into a pipe, but same thing, they did it illegally with a horizontal pipe, but even that pipe that they connected into, which was an old original one, is not coming up through the rooftop. The toilet is vented properly. The sinks, I believe, are vented properly because it should be sharing the toilet vent. And the kitchen, we'll have to double check to see if that has a vent on the rooftop, but that is all new piping underneath as well. So again, what we're passing through right now is all new plastic ABS. Okay, now here we finally come to the cast iron piping here. Now you can see we've got a hub that is jammed up inside, so the pipe is either slightly misaligned or has been pushed inside a 3 inside of a 4. That's possible. We'll have to double check this. So obviously there should be no lip. You can see our camera is just hitting the pipe. We should not see the wall thickness and diameter of the pipe. That should be encompassed and attached, aligned perfectly with the other pipe. So either there's a slight misalignment, or they pushed 3-inch cast iron into 4-inch ABS and then banded and hubbed around it. But you can see the camera just stops. So the same thing is going to happen with debris, paper, feces, all the stuff that's going to get put down the line. It's going to jam up and clog up there. So this is improper, and again we'll have to double check on the size of the pipe. It looks pretty close, but it should not be inside the pipe, so I don't know how they did that unless it is a slightly off size, or they really hammered the pipe into there. So we're going to jump our camera over that, and then you can see here the bottom of the pipe is kind of flattened out, and that's what's going to happen with this age of cast iron that we're looking at here. It's not going to be perfectly circular on the inside completely. On the bottom and sides, you're going to get a lot of scale and deposits and buildup, and so that's what's going to cause that flattened out look, and it's going to cause a little undulations in the pipe as our camera tries to move down the pipe there. But it is completely intact so far, and we don't see any roots or any major cracks or breaks or splits in the line that make us concerned. You can see there's a little gully right there where the pipe kind of opens back up again. So just small amount of deposits and build up. Looks like we've got some toilet paper or other debris in the line there, maybe some construction debris. Little piece hanging down from the top there, but that does not look like... Looks like it's probably just from cobwebs or something there. A piece of debris hanging, floating in the air. Still now cast iron pipe here. Okay, here we have a transition onto black plastic ABS again, it looks like. A little bug right there, water roach. And so it looks like we have a clean out that was installed on the property here in the front yard. We'll have to see if that's visible. So the pipe goes vertically up right there. That's a T-fitting. You can see just right where the bug kind of crawled up. So that's an access point to get into the line. So this pipe has been replaced across part of the front yard here. There's just a coupling right there, more newer plastic pipe. Here's another clean out right here. See, there's the T-junction. And this might be getting close to what's called the property line clean out, which is the edge right in front of the sidewalk typically by several feet. And then looks like we're transitioning back over to original clay concrete pipes. You can see the reddish in color. So bug hugging in the coupling joint there. So this clay concrete pipe so far looks good. One little crack line right there. So you can see right on this hub, that you can see the little crack, the little fissure line. But again, this is going to be in the street. It's not a concern. Over the years, it's possible roots could get in from there, but it's highly unlikely there's going to be any other issues with it, or anytime soon with even roots trying to get in. But there's a little crack fissure line in the pipe there, and that might have been all the way back from when it was literally installed, from when the neighborhoods were built. So it shows you how well it's still holding up and not a concern. We're still in all this concrete clay pipe. Everything still looks good. Looks like here's our final turn and dump into the city possibly here. So we're making that vertical downturn, and then here we go. Here's our city right here in the street. So you can see from this clean out we're about 120 feet out. And that's the large line that everybody, all the other houses are sharing. That's the city pipe. So that's the end of this lateral line. So we're going to go ahead and pull back on the line here. We're going to go ahead and pause the video to pull back the entire way, but we're going to pull back to the front yard where we found those other two clean outs. And if they're not exposed under the bark or the landscaping, then we'll go ahead and leave a couple white stakes in the ground denoting where they're at. So we're going to pause the video. Okay, so we pulled our camera back to that second clean out we discovered, which is again the property line clean out. This is in fact right about 5 feet from the sidewalk. There's a little retaining wall, so it's a little over 4 feet from there. So we put a white stake in the ground, painted it green, and denoted this pipe depth. So the horizontal pipe we're in right here is 30 inches deep, 2.5 feet deep, and then the clean out itself is not immediately under some of the bark that we moved. And then there's a weed barrier, so we don't know how far below that grade they either didn't bring it up all the way or just accidentally covered it up with the landscaping that they changed to sell the home. But we did go ahead and mark that, so it's accessible to dig down just a little bit to probably get to that if ever needed, but it shouldn't be because the pipe is all in good condition. Now we'll go ahead and pull back to the first set of cleanouts that we found. Come back on the line, here we go right here. So here's the other cleanouts. We'll kind of back up. There's our good view right there. Small little curvature to the pipe. So this is the other cleanouts that they added. So we'll go ahead and pause the video and locate and mark this. Okay, so we've gone ahead and marked this area. This pipe here, the horizontal pipe the camera's in, is about 20 inches deep. And so it's about just a little over 1.5 feet. And same thing, we moved the bark, could not see any of the cleanouts, so they're buried just a little bit, but we did leave another stake in the ground, painted it green, denoted clean out, and that the pipe is 20 inches deep. But again, the vertical clean out is going to be much less than that, or barely under the surface after you get past the weed barrier and dig a little bit. So that's marked out as well. And this is about 1.5 feet into the front yard. So there's a little concrete walkway leading up to the front porch and the front of the house, and as soon as you leave that concrete walkway into the bark front lawn, front area, it's only about 1.5 feet in. So again, there is a stake denoting that. So here's the original cast iron. So the reason this wasn't replaced is because this is all under the concrete walkway and then the concrete front porch and then passing through the foundation wall of the house. So it would have been an extreme amount of work to be able to replace this. So luckily this is all in good condition and does not need any repair replacement at this time. And we did verify in the crawl space that it is all 4-inch pipe. So what they did was they used what's called a 4-inch fern code to connect from the plastic to the metal. And so you can see again that the bottom of the pipe is the cast iron is a little bit longer. So they didn't cut it clean straight up and down. They've got it kind of a jagged and a little offset in the way they cut the pipe. And then they use what's called a rubber fern code boot rather than a mission band, which has a steel hub on the entire path. And so the way they set that alignment and the way they cut the pipe is what's causing this. So for right now, again, you can see there's that rough edge. I don't know if it's going to cause stoppages. It's not to code. It's not a clean connection point. It should be corrected. But I'm not saying that if you don't do that, that it's going to cause any issues. It may function okay for a while. We did go up onto the rooftop as well really quick, and we verified that the kitchen is vented properly. So again, we just have some venting issues with the front bathroom, the tub that looks like it was put in. We couldn't get into the house, but we can see a trap and the bad vent connection off of that. And then as we back up on the line here and come back to the original bathroom that was changed out as well, we've got the illegal vent for the toilet that is not correct size and not correct pipe and fittings. We have the incorrect vent for, I'm assuming it's the lav sinks on this exterior wall. The shower pan is also not vented at all for this back bathroom. We took a photo of that with our camera in the crawl space, and then the laundry is not vented. So coming back out of the line here, this is just the dry clean out. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pause really quick here and move our camera over. Okay, so again, we don't have access to the house. The agent's not responding to get us access for a code. But there's the air admittance valve. Again, those are not approved for the city of San Diego, and so it does not let gases and odors out. So that is out of code right there, and we're assuming this is for the lav sinks, these windows on this wall. We're going to go ahead and pause the video. Okay, we're now moved over to the back porch where the laundry connections are. Again, this has no vent either. There's not even an auto vent on this one. So again, the auto vent's going to allow, if those are for the sinks, to function okay as far as drainage, but you may get odors coming up through there because, again, it's not to the rooftop. The laundry has no vent whatsoever, not even that air admittance or Studer vent. So you could get water or suds bubbling up out of the drain because it needs air to drain. It's just like when you buy a jug of water or laundry detergent, you have to burp it every once in a while to get air into the system. So don't know if the laundry is going to be an issue immediately, but again, it's out of code. And then we're going to go ahead and pause one more time. Over here by the garage, I believe the agent mentioned they had a question about the drainage here. So you can see that the driveway slopes all the way down to this garage area. And we don't know if that channel area is going to bring it all to here. From the naked eye, if there's a very heavy rain, it doesn't look like it. They've got this one channel along the edge of the slab of this garage, and then they probably added this little drain pipe. And as we look inside this, you can see it's got a lot of debris in there, which is going to be typical. I don't know how far we'll be able to get here, but we'll keep pushing just to show. You can see it's getting a little bit more clogged up, but it's running for a pretty good distance here so far. Alright, looks like that's the end of it right there, or there's just so much debris and buildup, but I'm guessing that's probably the end of the pipe. So we'll go ahead and pause. This may be at the fence line of the property already. Okay, so we've gone ahead and located this, so we're going to pull back out of this corrugated tube here on the side of the backyard by the garage. We did put a green stake in the ground, we'll show that. This just goes just past the edge of the garage on the pipe ends, and it's about 9 inches deep barely, so it's just barely under the dirt. At the end of the garage there, we've got a little stake in the ground showing where that's at. So that doesn't go anywhere. So again, in a very heavy rain, I don't believe that this is going to stop all the water from leaving this backyard with as high as they have the landscaping and reach to the neighbor's yard and run out. So depending what's in the garage and through this doorway, water may enter there. In the past, typically, you would really want to put a grate. You'd have to saw cut the concrete, the entire pathway, and saw cut that over, and then sometimes put in a large pit with a sump pit and a pump that would then eject and pump the water out so it can keep up with the heavy volumes that we may or may not get over the years. And then that pipe can then run across and to the backyard, at least past to the neighbor's property, which the slope and grade leads farther down. Otherwise, you'd have to pump it all the way towards, again, back to the street. So the backyard should be sufficient. So we don't know if that's going to be an issue, but that would be the resolution if it ever came to that. Because in the meantime, this other pipe right here is only going to fill up with water for what it can contain on the inside, but it's not going to, it doesn't go anywhere, so it's not going to continue to drain out once it fills up. So that concludes the recording for this property.